This is Ojiso-sama. This is this guy's name. Do you guys have anything to share first off on Ojiso-sama?
Just like
Before we unpack the stuff in the art itself.
Sure. Ojiso-sama is, they call him a guardian deity, mostly of people who are helpless or are being selfless. So of travelers, young children, firefighters, and I guess stillborn babies.
Yeah.
But he's one of the most common, or well, his image is one of the most common that are used in Japan as like little statues. They're everywhere. And they're based off of Jiso-sama, who I guess is, I read a lot of stories, but I guess the most common one was that it was a female, first of all.
Right.
So she was somebody who became a bodhisattva, so like somebody who technically attained enlightenment, but didn't, I guess, ascend like a Buddha.
Well, she chose.
Yes, because she said she wouldn't until all of the hells, and I guess there are 6 hells, were empty. And a lot of those hells hold, like, you know, like the stillborn children is, I guess they say that they go to purgatory, right?
Yeah, right.
Because they were born, or they didn't have any time on this earth to attain any good karma.
Born of sin.
Yes. Which
isn't that great?
This is totally, yes. So this is not related to this at all. But when the first time I read that, I just thought it was hilarious, and I was like, that's the best stand-up material ever. Because everybody's always like, you know, it's funny that if you come from an Asian household, like Asian parents are known for being strict and whatever,
right.
blah, 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 you can never live up to their expectations.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They're like, you were stillborn just because it was a tragedy, it's because you weren't good enough.
It's fault.
Yes, yeah, so that's literally what it is. And they say that you weren't, not only did you not have any time to attain any good karma, but you caused your parents sadness. So that's bad karma. So you're in purgatory, and these little baby children have to stack rocks until, I don't know, they have to stack X number of rocks before they can get out of purgatory. And the story is that like these demons come by every night when the children are sleeping and knock down their stack of rocks.
Jenga style.
Right, isn't that terrible? So they have to start over every day.
I just saw 2 little mysterious piles of rocks today.
Okay.
I went out to smoke a little cigar during break and lunch. There was these 2 little piles of rocks I'd never seen before. Just in this little rock area.
Were they near like anything, like a trail in the woods or something?
Yeah, under a tree.
Oh.
It's kind of like a yard gnome.
Yeah.
So the first time I saw this, I didn't know what this was the first time I saw it, but when I went to, it's called Ueno Koen, it's a park in Japan, Ueno Park, and it's very touristy. It's got like I think like 3 temples, maybe 4 temples in there. There's a big pagoda, like castle, and there's a monastery or temple, I suppose. I think they're different, but this guy is everywhere, and because there's playgrounds there, and it's a tourist attraction, and there's a like 6-foot real life size. Well, I say life size. They're like, you know, Japanese short, but you know, 6 foot tall. And then you got some little ones, and then there's some just hidden. You can barely see them. And they're all in these like red hoods or cloaks. And I was like, what is this? What is this? And some of them, like the big ones, are just solo, and the smaller ones have groups of smaller ones with them.
Yeah,
which,
or whatever.
yeah. So they're like the children that he's trying to help or protect. So I thought that was really cool. But when you get to one of the temples, they have these little wooden plaques that you can get. And you can put like a prayer request or something that you wish for yourself or for others, and then you can put it on him or under him, and then you just leave.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. And kids can rent them. They have festivals that kids can rent these from a Ojiso-sama store, and what they do is they paint their faces white, and they'll decorate them, and they just have a festival, and they like have lots of food, and they'll pass around like I don't know the term, but rosary beads basically. Like you see samurai wear for like good luck and ward off evil.
They're like meditation beads.
Yeah, exactly. And then they'll bring it back to the store, and it's okay that the paint's on it because they leave it outside, and the rain washes it. So the next season, the new family can basically start it new.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So if we start to unpack this, I like what we did last time, working our way up.
Okay.
So the first thing that caught me was the color scheme in comparison to the first one.
It's a lot more muted.
It is. It's colored nature.
Yes.
So everything's very neutral and calm and soothing and comforting, which is really nice for what I think the setup is.
Yeah. But I mean, it's hard to see it in this, but I'm sure when you see the actual painting, that background is gold, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like metallic, bright, shiny gold.
Right.
And I think that's interesting because, like you said, the rest of it is pretty muted and like colored, natural colors, rock, grass, flowers, bird.
Mm-hmm.
But gold is really important. And so it's very, I don't know, it kind of seems like it's just saying like this is a really simple, easy message or thing to get, but it's really important to pay attention.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're pulling Ken in on the spot. It's like, hey, come and do this. Do these colors stand out to you? Do they make you feel safe?
No, they're just colors. I mean, I'm an engineer, man.
00110.
I mean, just when I look at the thing, I have some troubles with visual comprehension just because I had a bunch of eye problems earlier, and when it was up there on the wall, I could barely tell what it was because at my height, I go close to it to look at it, and then it's glare from the fluorescent lights
The
on it.
lights.
So it's hard for me to tell. It looks like just you squint your eyes, you see like a big gorilla. It's got the big hunched over, the back and neck, how they stick up, and the head just kind of curls down. That's what I see. I see a big gorilla sitting in some grass.
Okay.
And then the bird on top just kind of blends into like some messed up hair on his head.
Okay.
I didn't see
You
that.
talking about his foot right here?
No, I'm talking about the very top, because the very top would just be like just a tuft of hair or something.
Okay.
Oh, on the gorilla.
On the gorilla.
On the gorilla, not on Oji-sama.
So it's grape ape and
What?
grape ape.
Oh, yeah. Or like gray ape, but yeah.
I didn't see that the first time that you mentioned in class. But
The gorilla?
Yeah, I didn't see it. But after, I was reading all of these stories about Ojiso-sama.
Okay.
And I thought it was kind of fitting.
What?
What?
Like that there were like these big arms that were kind of like covering him or like surrounding him. 'Cause
Okay.
It's kind of like protection, right?
Okay.
And that's one of his stories is that he'll go into purgatory, and when the demons are beating up the purgatory babies, he'll like hide them in the sleeves of his robe and protect them.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
thought that was kind of it matched nicely. It's
Okay.
okay that those are like big, strong, protective arms.
Yeah.
Yeah. See.
That's a
see
stretch.
Instead of seeing the Ojiso-sama's face, I mean, it's just like the ape's face, If there's no Ojiso-sama, it's just an ape.
Okay.
Really happy.
Yeah.
What's the next piece that sticks out?
Well, if you want to work up, I guess. I always do this. I go back to colors.
Okay.
I like that there's this use of the yellow, and this is just like an artistic thing, I think, or a design thing.
Mm-hmm.
That it's wide and spread out at the bottom, and then it draws up and gets like a little narrow here and gets really fine pointed at the top.
Right.
This is also a stretch. So
Sure.
We're gonna go with it. That kind of like funneling shape
Mm-hmm.
is like the shape of the number 8, right? Hachi.
Okay. Hachi.
Yeah, and that in Japanese is like a good luck number
Right.
because of the shape.
It mirrors. Right.
Yeah, and because it's like I don't know what they say. They say that it's because you're like gradually getting bigger, so gradually becoming more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's also Ora and Omote, so it's a counterbalance of one another.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this is another perfectly divided down the middle piece where
True.
everything is kind of
Right.
Yeah. Mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just a coincidence, but the flower that he's holding has 8 petals. So.
All right. Okay. Is there anything that sticks out to you? Just a piece at a time?
Not really. I've got some sexual and pornographic things I think it looks like, but I'm kind of reluctant to bring them up in this video and have them recorded.
Soka draws that
You'll
stuff
have
all
to
the time.
see after class.
So the big thing that sticks out to me is the cave. So symbolism for a cave, we know it from other texts, is like it's a passageway to like a secret or something mystical, or it's just a pathway to something unknown. It's also this was originally what? A female,
Yes.
right? So a cave is also symbolism of like the womb. So maybe we have some like point of creation right here. I also kind of feel like maybe behind Ojiso-sama, I see like an aura, maybe like a protective aura, maybe coming from or warning you not to go into the cave. And Gojiso-sama standing right there to protect you from what may be past the mystery. That's just kind of the main thing that I feel kind of stuck out to me. When I first looked at this, I said, okay, cool, it's just Gojiso-sama just standing there.
Yeah.
But when I started looking at it, I was like, man, I feel like there's a whole lot happening here.
Yes.
And it's like really, bam! The bib, or the cloak, the tunic, whatever, the robes. You were talking about the demons. I was thinking maybe he's like hiding the kids under there,
Oh, yeah.
protecting them, you know? And then the elbows flared out, trying to look bigger so you don't see the kids underneath. I just thought that was interesting.
I kind of thought that because Hatsumi Sensei didn't portray it with like the, you know, the bright red beanie and the really obvious baby clothes, that maybe the message was steering away from the babies.
Sure.
And more like, because a lot of people pray at these little statues just for guidance and safety for themselves or for their friends and family. So maybe in our world that relates a little more to us,
Sure.
and that might be why. Because otherwise, if you were drawing it, you would draw like, you know, all of the red things. 'Cause
Right.
It's so iconic.
Right. And that's what you focus on.
Yeah, but even the bib that he included is gray. And it's not like one of the little knitted ones that like a mother would have put on him.
And you have to really look to see it.
Yes. So I kind of thought that maybe the focus was a little off of away from
The
the
traditional.
purgatory babies.
Okay.
Something I remember that when I first saw it and first kind of had to explain to me what was or saw the title and just saw, you know, the statue of the monk and the bird sitting on the statue. The only thing I thought of was like, okay, so the bird's pooping on the monk and the monk is happy. The monk is selflessly providing a toilet for the bird. And that's just, I never really saw anything in it. I didn't know anything about Ojiso-sama
Yeah.
or the symbolism or the stories or anything like that. It's just there's a bird with a nice
Yeah.
relaxing place and he's just sitting there providing a place
Yeah.
for the bird to poop.
And see, that's good though. He's just doing what you said. He's taking ukemi. He's receiving.
Well, I guess to go back to the title of the painting, talking about this flower and the bird, because those are like kind of our main players other than the actual statue itself. I kind of like the idea that the flower that is like an offering to the statue is just like one of the flowers that's growing nearby, because it feels very common. If you're talking about selfless, somebody came and just, you know, had no intentions of coming on this journey to ask Oji-sama for a wish or a favor or anything, but just, you know, there were pretty flowers nearby and left one with the statue because it looked pretty and as an offering.
Sure.
You know, without wanting anything in return.
Right.
And also, I was talking to Ken about this earlier. From my experience and growing up where I did, that bird, to my eye, looks like a sparrow. That's what I would consider it.
Okay.
because that's what they look like in Hawaii.
Okay.
And the story, or I guess a story, or a Japanese story that they tell to little kids about the sparrow is kind of like fits that idea or that theme, where there was like a farmer and his wife, and they didn't have any kids, and he found an injured sparrow, so he brought it home and took care of it, and it became his pet. And he, took care of it, fed it food every day, but they were really poor, and so the wife didn't like that and was always mad that the bird was eating their food. So she, it gets a little graphic, but she basically kicks the bird out, and she's like, get out of here. And so the man comes home from work, and he finds out the bird's gone, so he is worried about it. He goes off in search of it, and everything is kind of mystical and magical, and so he finds the bird, and the bird is lives in this kingdom in the forest, and offers him food and water and entertainment, and then when he's going to leave, offers him the choice of 2 presents, and one is a really big present and one is a really small present. And the old man takes a small present because he doesn't want to take from the bird.
Oh.
Yeah, and he goes home and he opens it up, and it's full of jewels and gold and whatever. And so the wife, who is greedy, goes out and finds the bird kingdom. Same thing happens to her. She chooses the big package, and she's trying to get it home, and she opens it on the way home, and she's expecting tons of jewels, and it's just full. It's like Pandora's box. It's full of poisonous snakes and stuff that wanna. Yeah. And in the old school version of the story, she dies. But I don't know. That kind of matched that theme of not expecting anything in return, of being selfless, of doing something nice just because, or helping somebody just because.
Sure. Okay. I feel like that's a Japanese rose.
Okay.
And Japanese roses are yellow, and they look like that because they don't have a lot of yellow plants, or flowers, I mean. And at least here in the States, yellow flowers are something that you give to someone that's a friend. Like if I give you something red or pink, that's kind of romantic. So yellow is friendship. So maybe he's trying to hey kids, I'm your friend, come be safe with me, or with the travelers we were talking about. I think this is a canary.
Okay.
Because again, they don't have a lot of yellow birds.
Okay.
And canaries they're known to uplift people's spirits. That's why
because they're songbirds.
They would sing, yeah. That's why miners would have them in the cave.
Yeah.
They're in a dark, depressing tunnel all the time, so they need something nice to.
I thought it was because of the.
Well, that's part of it, but people are attracted when they hear the canary sing, and so maybe he's using both of these elements to make strangers or children, travelers, whoever, feel more, at ease, and they're like, oh, there's Uncle,
Yeah.
which is what Oji means. Oji-san means uncle. In the classical sculptures, the tall Ojiso-sama, they have a shakujo. You see that in Kokushin-no. It's the bow, but it's got the rings on it.
Oh, yeah.
And so if there's an evil spirit, he'll shake it and scare them off with it.
Oh, okay.
So I thought that was interesting. Plus with the bow, there's no threat on it other than the rings. So he doesn't want to hurt people. He still wants to kind of, protect people. As a Budo person, what sticks out to me in his posture is he's taking Gasho no Kamae. Yeah. This is Gasho. Gasho just means palms together, praying hands. So this is Gasho, this is Gasho, this is Gasho, Gasho. All these things are Gasho. So it's interesting to me that he's in this. So maybe, this is probably looking too deep, but maybe he has the illusion, because we use this for what? Hiding weapons, right? Speakers use this for being calm. You see this in law enforcement and military, but it's back here, but it's to show you're stable in your mindset. So maybe he's being steadfast and concealing it with friendly, intentions, but maybe there's really something in there to protect the children. So that was my kind of Budo kind of perspective in it. And maybe he's just, my wife says I think too much, but maybe he's just hey, come on, look.
But that's the fun part, is to think too much.
Yeah, yeah. And he's a guardian of hell, right? Or he's trying to not make you go to hell.
Right.
So I kind of looked at this as flames for one,
Okay.
but then at the same time, he gave up himself, the selflessness. He gave up his body, or his position, or his rank, however you want to think of that, his status, even though he really has it. But in some pictures, he also has a crown. Mostly in the feminine versions, he has a crown. And I kind of looked at this as a crown as well, and then the flowers being like the gems decorating it. So the first thing that popped to me was the cave, then the gasho, and then the crown. And I was like, man, there actually is a whole lot happening here.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just kind of what I took from it. The way I was kind of seeing it, maybe as the reason that it was painted for a dojo, is maybe this is what the instructor's position should be. Not typically is, but maybe should be, is you're selfless. You don't care about your rank, your promotion, your ability to go to heaven. You're more concerned about the new people coming in, your kids, your travelers, however long they come in and stay. You're more focused on them and trying to keep them from getting to the bad stuff.
You keep talking about the cave like it's something bad, and all I can
We don't know what's in there.
all
I mean,
I
what's
can think about
back here?
all I can think about is that one the one passage from the book, from Suleiman's book.
Okay.
That
Oh, right,
says
right.
About how
Yeah.
humans see a dark space and they
Yeah.
think that it's scary, but to every other animal that thinks normally, it's just shelter.
Yeah.
Like they would naturally go in.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe he's being welcoming.
Yeah. Anything else?
I don't think so. I think we've.
There's not much, but
I
there's a
know
lot.
We've gone over so many things and all the possibilities about it,
Yeah.
because we all see different things
Yeah.
in it.
A gorilla and a phallic object.
Oh, not just that.
And I just see protection of kids and watching new people visiting the dojo, trying to make them feel at ease. Everyone has this guy in their life. This dude was my Uncle Edward. This is the dude that, he'd give up everything just to help me and make me feel better about myself and stuff like that. So I think everyone's got a little Goju Sosama somewhere. That it? All right. That's us. Arigato.